Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. I'm so glad you decided to join me here today. We're getting the show out a little bit earlier. We're trying different times to see what works with everyone. Of course, you know we have an amazing master topic for this week. Do you know what that master topic is? Well, in case you don't know what the topic is, guess what, guys? I'm going to share it with you right now. And that is the core that endures. Yes, the core that endures. And today's granular topic, which I know you're definitely going to want to learn about, it's a really good granular topic. So this one is kind of neat. It's steady wins and flashy fades. So let's kick the show up. But before I do, I want to thank you for coming, whether it's your first time or your 100th time or whatever. Thank you so much for being here on the Inspirations for Your Life show. Really do appreciate you guys making the choice to make this content part of your daily life so you can become a better version of yourself. All right, guys. Really, really do appreciate it. I hope everyone has had an amazing, how can I say, a Labor Day. I don't know if you did anything with family or friends, or maybe you just sat home and you took it easy and you just rested because you knew that you had to be working the next day, whatever it is. Again, if you're thirsty, feel free to go get yourself something, maybe some RO water, which I usually have, or maybe another drink or soda or a fruit or another beverage or a snack or nuts or whatever it is. Go ahead and get that. So, everyone, I want to just take this opportunity. Again, I also like to know whether you like the shows in the morning live. I'm trying different things to see what people like. We're on a brand new platform called OneStream Live. And believe it or not, since we actually moved to this platform, about a couple days ago, we've actually found that our streams are actually reaching more people, which is really, really good. And we didn't change anything else. We just changed the platform. So it is great to be with everyone here. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life, where steady wins and flashiness, you guessed it, guys, it fades. And so where we're going to dive into the truth that success isn't about being loud. It's about, well, staying consistent. I'm your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm also an engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, and podcast coach. And over the years, I have learned one crucial lesson. Well, I've learned a lot of lessons, guys. True success doesn't come from chasing quick fame or viral moments. It comes from building a solid foundation, taking consistent action, and focusing on the long game. I think a lot of people don't realize that you got to put the time in, right? Can't just expect to just show up and be front and center stage. So whether you're starting your journey, you're scaling your business, or simply looking for some life-changing advice, this show is your guide to mastering the art of steady growth. Are you ready for the first point? I know you are. Number one is consistency to hype. Always. In a world that is obsessed with this instant gratification, consistency will always outperform your hype and those of others. You'll hear people shouting about the next big thing, the latest trend, and, well, the flashy success stories that get all the attention. But, let me tell you, those who stay grounded, who keep showing up every day, are the ones who make the real progress. It's not about one big moment. It's about creating, guys, sustainable momentum in business, in life, in everything you do. It's the steady ones who win in the end. And I think that's a very, very, important thing to understand. And so number two, guys, is flash fades, steady stays. Flashy trends, as I've said before, they come and they go. The loudest voices often fade the fastest. Think about all those viral sensations you've seen online. Most of them are long forgotten, TikToks, etc. Right? Maybe they were the big winner for the day. How about like the Avatar dance or something, APN dance? What is it now? Right? Nobody even cares. But those who quietly build, who work in silence every day and keep showing up, they're the ones who will last. See, guys, steady wins over time. And the key isn't in the quick drama of a quick rise, it's in the endurance of a steady climb. I can give an example of this, being a hiker for a long time, being an Eagle Scout and doing hikes now every weekend, and not just doing the short hikes, but doing like the 3 hour, 4 hour hikes. When you get going the first time, if you haven't hiked in a while, it can be a little challenging to, keep up, to have the energy. But after you've done it a few times, you'll find that you don't need to take as many breaks and your body is more acclimated to this type of activity. When everyone else is chasing the next shiny object, you're building something that stands the true test of time. I think that's an important thing for all of us to understand. Number three, they laughed at the slow grind until it passed them by. At some point, ladies and gentlemen, everyone doubted your journey. The grind felt too slow, too boring. You saw others rushing ahead, taking shortcuts, and jumping on the fast track to apparent success. But guess what, guys? The slow grind catches up and leaves the flashy ones in the dust. While they were burning out, chasing clout, you were building something real. And when it's time to show results, the people who laughed, well, they'll be wondering how you did it. See, steady always wins. Everyone thinks that you can just jump ahead or that, you can skip steps, you can skip learning. And although you can try to do that, but when you skip learning, you know what's going to happen? Well, you're going to pay the piper. Not always in money, but in, let's say, things that you're going to do wrong. You have to go through the steps. You have to master something. Once a person once told me, John, you can't go make 10 million or 50 million until you've mastered making 1 million. But again, it's something to shoot for, but you have to realize that the systems that help you make 500,000, 200,000, they're different than the systems that make you 1 million. And the systems that'll make you 5 million are going to be different than the systems that make you 1 million. The systems that make you 10 million, such and so forth. You get my idea. Number four is you don't need attention. You need results. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle for attention, right? Everyone wants that big spotlight on them, the recognition, the likes, the follows, the shares. But here's the true secret. Attention isn't fleeting. Results are what matter. You don't need the world to notice you every time you do something. What you need is to make consistent progress, and over time, the results will speak for themselves. So the flashy ones may get all the eyes and the glamour right away, but you'll be the one getting the rewards because you focused on building value, not just catching attention. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand is that you might seem like you're getting their attention now, but it's really fleeting, right? And the example I can use for this is maybe somebody, it could be a salesperson, and maybe they attempt to get your attention, and they do. But then when you find out that they're really not interested in you, well, you know what happens? You quickly grow disinterested. Number five, guys, the flashy start fast. The steady finish strong. Flashy entrepreneurs and influencers might start really fast, but it's the steady finishers who truly succeed. The initial momentum of quick wins can be deceiving. It feels great at first, but it's not sustainable. When the hype dies down, the steady ones are the ones still grinding, still creating, still winning. See, success isn't about how you begin. It's about how you finish. And when you finish strong, you don't need a flashy start. Whether you're on a marathon or a jog or a hike, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So you have to manage your energy during that time. Maybe you have to take some breaks. I know when I first started going back into hiking after many years being away from it, you want to take a lot of breaks. But then the more that I do hikes, the less breaks I take. Maybe I only take 2 or 3 breaks. And again, it's not about trying to win a race when you hike, because you can't hike fast because you'll kill yourself because there's rocks and different debris. So 95% of the time or more, you got to keep your eyes on your feet. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll have something that lasts, but you have to realize that you got to be steady. Number 6, repetition is underrated. Here's the hard truth. Are you ready for the hard truth? Can you handle it? Mastery isn't boring. It's the repetition, the daily grind, the focus on doing the same thing over and over again that creates true success. While others are jumping from one thing to the next, looking for excitement, you're quietly getting better day by day. You'll hear it often from the greats. Mastery isn't built through repetition, and it is the consistency that separates you from the rest. I know you might say, gee, John, this person's been doing this and, they're a master. And that's great. And they might be a master for a short period of time. But if they get there too quickly and they don't have that strong foundation, we're talking a lot about foundations this week, they're not going to be able to withstand the challenges that may come up. Number 7, guys, viral is temporary. I know we all want to be viral, and it's great to be viral, but you have to keep being in front of people. It's not about going viral once. It's about keeping your content in front of people because they want it. Viral is temporary. Value is timeless. Let me say that again. Viral is temporary. Value is timeless. How many people have gone viral on TikTok? Lots of people, right? Out of those people that have gone viral that are not viral anymore, do you remember any of them? Probably not. Value is timeless. Viral is temporary. Viral trends will come and go in the blink of an eye or less. The moment passes, but when you focus on creating true value, that's something people can rely on for years. Viral content might get you a few seconds of fame, but value-driven content creates lasting relationships and loyalty. Focus on adding value and you'll build something that doesn't just disappear with the next trend. I want to share something with you, just so of our numbers. So, we get a lot of downloads, but just on LinkedIn last week, one of our episodes resonated over 744 downloads. What does that mean? That means that content resonated with somebody, okay? And when it does, it's not flashy, it's the truth. It's what people need to hear, but sometimes people have an ego and they don't want to hear this stuff. See, that's the real game. That's the meat and potatoes. Okay, I mean, I can give you all this glamoury stuff. I can give you lights. I can give you effects. But at the end of the day, that's not what's going to get you anywhere. So when I start the show, of course, it's a great start and a great end. But during the show, I pretty much stay pretty genuine, right? And I share points and ideas about what you can do in your life. And it's a choice for you to choose to do these things. If you don't choose to do them, well, then you won't get any further. Number 8, guys, big moves in silence will shake louder. So again, when something's loud and can rock you to your core, it's going to catch your attention, right? Your ears are going to be, let's say, really captivated by it. And it's even going to get your eyes to want to look. And your mind's going to be engaged for that few seconds. And then bam, it's like, okay, what was that all about? In a world where everyone wants to announce their next move, there's real power, guys, in staying quiet. The biggest moves are often made in silence. You heard me correctly, gentlemen. The biggest moves are made in silence. It's what you don't tell people that actually makes the difference. What you're doing behind the scenes. Work in the background. Let your actions speak for themselves. The louder the noise, the less substance it usually has. When you focus on your craft, your impact, and your work without needing validation, you'll end up making a bigger statement than any viral moment could ever do. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing Inspirations for Your Life now. December 31st, we'll make this 3 years. We'll be going into our 4th year. And I just create content that's about life's challenges. And some people are looking for that magic 8 ball, or they're looking for, that quick way or that quick win, but they don't exist. You have to understand that everything comes from truth and integrity and showing up day in and day out. Number 9, guys, mastery is boring to watch. I know, but it's deadly in action, right? If you watched a karate player and they kept going over and over again and kept doing the chop, you would get bored watching that, right? Or watching somebody give a speech multiple times. But when you finally hear it given at the keynote presentation, or you see that student, breaking, I remember breaking a board or breaking a brick, that's pretty impressive. Let's be real, guys. Mastery is not glamorous. It's not a flashy show. It's hours of hard work behind the scenes. It is repetition. It's attention to detail. and a willingness to embrace the grind. Nobody likes the grind, but the grind is important. While the world's distracted by the latest viral moment, the true masters are quietly honing their craft. And when it's time to show up, they don't need to make a big announcement. The results will always speak for themselves. But people are still learning that. They think that if you could just get on the stage for 30 seconds, people are going to remember you. And that rarely happens. Now, let's take some rock stars and maybe some break dancers. Maybe they'll get more than a few seconds. Maybe they'll get a few years of the limelight, but they're not going to stay up there. Okay? Number 10, guys, real wins aren't loud. They're consistent. Real success isn't about shooting your accomplishments out to the world. Even though you might want to because you're proud, don't do that. It's about quiet persistence. The people who consistently show up day after day, day in and day out, even when no one is watching, are the ones who win in the end. You know, ladies and gentlemen, when I go on these hikes, sometimes I don't have people that join me, but I do the hike every single weekend, and sometimes I do it twice. You might say, John, well, why do you do it if no one's watching you? I don't care. I do it because I feel good doing the hike and coming back home and all sweaty and changing and just knowing that I feel so great and then getting to put my feet in my massage chair for like 20 or 30 minutes. That's amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stop right now looking for shortcuts. Stop chasing the next big trend and focus on doing the work. Okay, I know you might say, gee, well, I got a shortcut to this. I got a way we can hack this, right? People say they're life hacks. And so a hack is good if it does not take you away from the core. The more you focus on your craft, the less you're going to need to scream about your success. It will speak for itself. I promise you, guys. I really promise you this. I know that as you're thinking about this, day in and day out, it gets to be something that maybe is hard for people to understand. But how do you keep working on your craft when everyone else is like a million light years ahead of you? Maybe they have some flashier presence. Maybe they have a bigger following. Maybe they just happen to be getting in all the right places. But if that's something that they've just started doing and they're not being genuine, that is quickly going to fade. And then you're going to be like, well, what happened to that person? Just like, I think it was Apatar, which was like a song. That's not even close to being viral. I'll give you an example. So one of my videos went viral, okay? I'm proud of it. It was the implosion of the Sharamawa Towers. But to be all very clear and honest with you, that video is still getting views right now, but is it still going viral? No. It was viral for 30 days, and I was very grateful for that. But you have to realize you can't live your life expecting everything is going to be viral. You got to create content. And you see, people, they like viral, but viral gets people turned on to you. And when it gets them turned on to you, that's what's going to make the difference to them staying with you, right? Anybody can subscribe to a newsletter, right? And anybody can unsubscribe to a newsletter. But it's the people that keep reading your newsletter day in and day out because, one, you're not spamming them. Two, you're offering them true, amazing value. Three, well, you are being genuine. And you might say to me, John, what does genuine really mean? I'll use an example. Many of you know Louis Vuitton, maybe you know Gucci, right? Versace, lots of different brands. And so a genuine brand is just that. It's made by the original people, right? Or it's that one type, right? If you have a knockoff, which is actually illegal, and they make something that looks like a Gucci or Versace or Louis Vuitton, it's going to have some differences. Even polo, right? If the stick is not up, then it's not a true, authentic polo. But why do people try to be non-authentic? I think the reason that they try to be non-authentic is very simple. It's because they believe they can get to the top by, well, I hate to use this word, but manipulate people. If people can get manipulated, because that's what they think they're able to do, then they're going to get somewhere. And they're correct. They're going to get somewhere for a short period of time. Once these people figure out what you're doing, they're going to be like, sayonara, bye, see you later. But people don't catch this right away, right? I said something before. When you do the right thing day in and day out and you work on your craft, you might not be on a limelight, you might not be in the news, but your craft is going to speak for itself. Your craft is going to get you more referrals. Okay? And you might be saying, John, but I can't wait for that. You can't wait for that. You can't wait for your genuineness to show through, that you would rather contaminate it by using something that's superficial and dishonest and that lacks integrity. Come on, guys. You're better than that. You know that. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your craft, right? The more that you can do this, the more that you will start to understand why patience is important. And then you'll start to realize that people are appreciating your craft because you're not standing up on a great big soap opera box. A lot of people do this. Being in the media for many, many years, I see people all the time saying, gee, I'll get you featured for X dollars, $8, $9, whatever it is. But all they're doing is they're taking you, they're feeding you somewhere, right? But it's not really authentic. A lot of these people aren't even writing authentic releases. They're just changing them around a little bit. You can even get on some talk shows now. You can pay for a spot. You can be invited on the show, and that's what we call earned media. And then there are the spots where you can have paid media. That's where you pay for placement. You pay to play. And you can always tell, because when you watch a talk show and they say this part of the show is sponsored by, it puts the name. So the host might seem somewhat interested, but it lets you know that it is a sponsored portion of the show. If you're watching a show like this and you see sponsored, guess what? It's not earned. The people paid to have that 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 10 minutes of fame on TV. They paid money. Just like on Google or other browsers, right? When you're searching with your browser on different websites for search engines, they have the sponsored part, right? And maybe you don't know this, but when you put a search term in and the company comes up first, oh, wow, they're really good. But look what it says after their name at the bottom. Sponsored. Usually you have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, just take, for example, I'm on Google right now. I'm just going to give a pretty basic example. If I go to Google right now and I share, I basically share out one of my screens, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to share out my Google screen, which those of you that are on the audio cast can't see this, but those of you that are on the podcast can. So I'm just going to type in homework help. Okay. So first thing I get is I get sponsored by one company. Next thing I get another company, right? So the first couple results I get say sponsored. Sometimes it won't. So you have to watch, what they actually are. And I think that can make a big difference. But a lot of people think that just because you're first means that you're the best. It means that you might have paid for your spot. And earned media, guys, is hard to get, but it's more authentic than paid media. Because paid media, no one has really done anything to validate you. You just paid for a spot and now you got a spot, right? So I know that steady wins. I know that flashy gets exciting for lots of different reasons. But what you have to understand is that when we can realize that all the flash, all the glamour that appears to excite us can disappear in a fraction of a second. That's pretty powerful. It can disappear in the fraction of a second. Wow. So that means that if I do something that's full of integrity, and I keep showing up and people appreciate my value, you know what that's going to mean? People are going to keep coming back to me, not because they have to, but because they want to. When they buy something and they see that they like something, they might come back a few times because they paid for it, right? But when somebody chooses to come to you, like a podcast or other piece of content, they're coming there because they want to be there. If they're coming to a paid seminar or keynote that I'm giving, either online or in person, they're paying for that. And they're going to be very captivated as an audience. But when somebody comes back to your content for free, that's when you have integrity. I don't care whether you're talking about buying a car. I don't care whether you're talking about finding new doctors, or you're finding a painter or a pool service or handyman or whatever it is. The integrity will always trump everything else. It will. But a lot of people don't realize that. And they say, well, gee, look at this person getting all that traction. Yes, but come back in 6 months, and I guarantee you they won't have the same traction. It's the truth, guys. I said to you before, viral is temporary, value is timeless. Say it with me. Viral is temporary, value is timeless. Viral is temporary, value is timeless. Does that mean it's bad to go viral? Absolutely not. If you're going viral because of something that you're doing genuinely, that's great. You're giving value. But if you're trying to go viral with something that's not you, that's not your style, that's not even you being genuine, well, you're going to kind of flop, right? Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this week, maybe not even this month or even this quarter, even this year. But you will flop if you're doing something that is non-genuine. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It is always such a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be with you here on Inspirations for Your Life. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your evening. Please do check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations, whether that be short form content, long form content. You can watch this show, you can watch other shows, and you can gain a lot of powerful insights that, if you choose to apply them, will in fact improve the quality of your life. And we all know that's what you want right now, right, guys? So have yourself a fantastic one. And remember, the choice to live with integrity, that's the key. Start doing it now.